There was once a village hidden between rolling hills and dense forest. The people lived peacefully, relying on their traditions and the wisdom of their elders. But one fateful season, everything changed. A strange sickness swept through the land, striking down both the young and the old. No one knew its cause. The village herbalist, Elder Sephew, tried every remedy, but nothing worked. Panic spread. Some believed the gods were punishing them. Others whispered of dark spirits. But just when all hope seemed lost, something strange happened. A healer in the night. One cold night, under the full moon, a hooded figure appeared. They wore a carved wooden mask with hollow, unreadable eyes. Moving like a shadow, the figure placed their hands upon the sick, and by morning, those who had been near death were suddenly well. The village erupted in whispers. A healer has come to save us, some rejoiced. No one heals without asking for something in return, others warned. Elder Sephew, the village herbalist, watched in silence. His whole life had been dedicated to healing, yet this stranger had done in one night what he had failed to do in weeks. His heart burned with suspicion. The mystery deepens. Each night, the healer returned. Each morning, more people were cured. But never once did they speak. Never once did they remove their mask. A young girl named Nia was the first to ask the question on everyone's mind. Why does the healer hide their face? Some said the healer was a spirit. Others believed they were a god. But Nia wasn't satisfied. She was determined to uncover the truth. One evening, she hid and watched. The healer moved quickly, as if sensing they were being followed. But Nia was patient. Then, just before dawn, the healer stopped by the river, removed their mask, and Nia gasped. The healer was a woman. The next day, Nia revealed what she had seen. The healer is a woman. I saw her, she announced. Gasps filled the air. A woman. Impossible. Turned, a skeptical young man, challenged, then let her remove her mask before us all. That night, the villagers gathered. Chief Adebola stepped forward. Whoever you are, show yourself, he commanded. The healer stood still. Then, slowly, she removed the mask. The crowd froze in shock. It was Abeni. A woman they had cast out many years ago. A woman they believed was dead. A dark secret revealed. Long ago, Abeni had been accused of witchcraft. When a drought struck the village, and children fell sick, she had been blamed. The elders, fearing she was cursed, banished her to the forest. But she had survived. She had wandered far beyond the lands they knew, learning the healing arts from distant tribes. And now, she had returned, not for vengeance, but to save those who had cast her out. Yet, despite all she had done, some still feared her. She is dangerous, someone shouted. What if she is cursing us? While healing us, another accused. Elder Sephew, who had never trusted her, spoke coldly. A true healer does not hide their face. If you truly care for us, leave and never return. A test of forgiveness. But then, fate took an unexpected turn. Elder Sephew himself fell gravely ill. His body burned with fever, his breath came in ragged gasps. His own herbs failed him. For the first time, he felt the helplessness that so many others had faced. And then, in the dead of night, the masked healer arrived. Abeni knelt beside him. She had every reason to walk away. But instead, she placed her hand upon his forehead and whispered, "Even those who do not believe, still deserve to be saved." By morning, Elder Sephew awoke, his sickness gone. Humbled, he turned to the villagers. "We cast her out, yet she returned with kindness. A healer is chosen not by birth, but by the heart." Another mystery. A second healer. Just as the village prepared to welcome Abeni back, something strange happened. That night, As Abeni walked through the village, she saw a shadowy figure moving in the distance. The figure wore a similar mask to hers. She stopped, heart pounding. "Who are you?" he called. The figure did not respond. Instead, they turned and disappeared into the forest. Nia, who had followed Abeni, whispered, "There's another healer." Abeni stared into the darkness. Or something else entirely. Was there another healer in the village? Or had someone been watching Abeni all along? A final farewell. Though the village begged Abeni to stay, she shook her head. "There are others who need me," she said. A healer never stays in one place. She placed her mask back over her face and turned toward the forest. But this time, she wasn't sure if she was alone. As she vanished into the mist, the villagers whispered about the figure in the shadows. Had they been blessed with another healer? Or was something far more mysterious at play? Abeni had healed the village, won their trust, and proven that kindness was stronger than fear. But just as she prepared to leave, she saw something impossible, another figure, masked just like her, watching from the shadows. Who were they? Another healer? An imposter? Or something far more dangerous? The mystery had only just begun. The whispers in the dark. The village reacts. After Abeni's departure, the village was left uneasy. Some were grateful for her healing. Others still doubted. But one thing was certain, the mysterious second figure had unsettled them all. Nia, the curious girl who had first uncovered Abeni's identity, could not let it go. "What if they're not a healer?" she whispered to her grandmother. "Then what are they?" No one had an answer. The strange happenings began. At first, everything seemed normal. Then, the rumors started. A child went missing in the forest for hours, only to be found at dawn, dazed and unable to remember anything. The village animals grew restless, some disappearing overnight. Footprints appeared by the river, large, deep prints that did not match any human or animal. And then, the worst sign of all, a sickness returned. The return of Abeni. A desperate summoning. Chief Adebola had never been a man of fear, but when the village's strongest hunters fell ill overnight, he knew they needed help. "Find her," he commanded. "Find the masked healer." A group of men set off into the forest, following the path Abeni had taken. But they returned empty-handed. "She is gone," they said. Her footprints vanished beyond the river. But Nia was not ready to give up. One night, under the full moon, she walked alone to the edge of the village and whispered into the wind. "Abeni, if you can hear me, we need you." She did not expect an answer. But the very next morning, Abeni returned. Abeni's warning. The villagers rushed to her, pleading for help. But as soon as she saw the sick hunters, her face darkened. She knelt beside them, touching their fevered foreheads. Then, she whispered two chilling words. "This spreads." Elder Sephew, once her enemy but now her humbled ally, asked what everyone feared. "Is this the same sickness as before?" Abeni shook her head. "No. This is something else." She turned to Chief Adebola. "Tell me everything that has happened since I left." And so, she learned of the second masked figure. Her hands clenched into fists. "I need to see them," she said. "A trap is set." That night, Abeni, Nia, and a few trusted warriors hid near the river, where the footprints had been seen. The air was heavy with silence. The only sound was the distant croaking of frogs. Then, a rustling. A shadow moved between the trees. Abeni tensed. Suddenly, the figure rushed toward them. The warriors leaped forward, grabbing the masked stranger. The figure struggled violently but was no match for them. Finally, under the flickering torchlight, they removed the mask. And what they saw made Abeni's breath catch in her throat. It was a man. But not just any man. It was Oba. Her brother. The brother she lost. A truth hidden for years. Gasps filled the air. Abeni stared at the man before her, her voice barely above a whisper. Oba, but you were dead. Oba's eyes were wild, his body weak. He struggled against the warriors, but then his legs gave out. He collapsed, breathing heavily. Abeni knelt beside him, pressing her hands to his chest. His heartbeat was faint, his skin burning with fever. You're sick, she murmured. Oba barely managed a smile. Not just me. Abeni, it's spreading. The forgotten curse. As Oba was carried back to the village, Abeni demanded answers. Her brother had been accused of stealing from the chief's family and had been beaten and left in the forest years ago. Abeni had been told he had died. But he hadn't. Instead, he had been found by the same mysterious healers who had trained Abeni. And now, he had returned. But something was wrong. They poisoned me, Oba whispered. Not with herbs. With knowledge. With a secret that should have never been told. Abeni frowned. What secret? Oba's voice trembled. The sickness is not a curse from the gods. It is man-made. The hidden enemy. A dark revelation. The village had always believed that sickness came from the gods, as punishment or warning. But Oba had learned something darker. There were people, powerful people, who controlled sickness. Who spread it and sold the cure to those who could afford it. It's not just this village, Oba rasped. It's everywhere. They create the disease, then decide who lives and who dies. Abeni's hands clenched into fists. Who are they? She demanded. Oba's lips parted, but then his body convulsed. Abeni pressed her hands to his chest, trying to heal him, but this time, it wasn't enough. Oba gasped one final breath, and was gone. Abeni sat frozen. But then, a whisper drifted through the night air. You are getting too close. Abeni turned sharply. But the forest was empty. Or was it? The fight isn't over. The village mourned Oba. But Abeni knew, his death was a warning. Whoever was behind the sickness was still watching. Still waiting. She turned to Nia, her most loyal friend. I cannot stay, Abeni said. I must find the truth. Nia looked up, her eyes fierce. Then I'm coming with you. And so, under the light of the full moon, the two set off into the unknown. Because now, the battle was no longer just about healing. It was about justice. And Abeni would not stop until she found it. As Abeni and Nia enter the dark, ancient tunnel, the air grows colder. Strange symbols glow on the walls, symbols Abeni has seen only in her dreams. Suddenly, a cloaked figure steps out of the shadows. He speaks in a voice that freezes their blood. You think you're the healer, but you were chosen for something far greater, or far more dangerous.